A lot of you people are actually wondering, how the hell did you become a billionaire at 20? And the answer might be shockingly simple, but it's pretty obvious as well. The answer is work, but also I've had a great bunch of coaches and a great bunch of mentors who actually taught me what skills I need to learn, how I need to do it, and how can I most effectively, like save my time so I can be able to hire staff, print out, and start to grow a marketing agency, and also start to grow, like at the moment, a YouTube presence as well, so I can help out people like yourself. So I'm just going to give you a brief little rundown on me. So I'm currently 21. I'm from Australia. My marketing agency does over 6 figures a year, and yeah, it's pretty simple. But yeah, as I said, like a little bit about me. So I actually started off my first marketing agency when I was 16. So basically way back when I was trying to figure out the basics of marketing, basics of sales. I've always been very, very good at sales and marketing, but it's been more so towards the later years that it's been more developed due to the places where I've worked, all the skills that I've learned while on the actual job site. Because like a lot of you people understand, because you've been trying for a while, you've been more so in that one place that you know that you can achieve, but you don't know how to get there. I've been stuck in a similar position to you, but I've obviously had coaches and mentors, and I've just paid a ton for that advice so I can move me forward. So as I said, let me just go back to it. So pretty much, as I said, I started my first marketing agency at the age of 16. I stopped it because I was like, okay, cool, why don't I run an e-commerce agency? And I've always been the marketing guy. I've always been the middleman. I've always been either the marketing, the sales guy, or someone who has some form within a business to more so either sell them, persuade them, or to, move them over the bridge from their current state to their desired state. Like you people watching the video, like I know all you people have been just basically wanting to, like, start your first marketing agency from as long as you can remember, because marketing is the best skill on the planet. Because it's not like finance, it's not like crypto, it's not like sales. Yes, sales is important, but it's essentially the backbone. But marketing is like the best skill, and it is like by far the most profitable skill out there. Because you people got to realize, once you become the middleman, once you start running your own marketing agency like me, you can make tons of money. So you can charge like a $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 a month retainer, and you can start to make more and more money from there. The reason being is because you get people, their customers, or even like up front, you're like, okay, cool, this is my price, this is my monthly retainer. Or if you want, you can do rev share. It's entirely up to you. But what I'm trying to say is, because you bring all the money in, you get paid the biggest paycheck out of them all. And honestly, depending on the quality of leads and also how serious the lead will take what you're selling them, makes such a huge difference. So let's just say you're offering, like what I've done for a few of my clients. So let's just say if you're offering like a HVAC service. So let's just say you're servicing stuff in HVAC, so you can pretty much help your clients get from where they want. They have problems with their aircon, they might need the AC replaced, they might need, more bits that they need into their aircon. Like I know a bit more about it when I've actually got like a client on it again, but because I'm just giving this for example, because this is my first client, this is going to be in a similar state to where you are. So yeah, pretty much during that, it's like, okay, cool. So my client is a HVAC client. He's currently providing a service. He can also replace the air cons and basically give you new units. Most of this stuff is all high tickets, which means your paycheck won't be any less, because you're not dealing with people who only have, you're not dealing with people who only have or think that 30K is like way too much. You're dealing with people who like are used to seeing that every single quarter from like, just normal bills in general, just because they use either softwares that much or bank fees are that much. But do you get what I mean? Like they have multiple other things. Like they could easily just pay you like 5-10 grand just to solve their problem, because as I said, like some of them have their problem of, hey, they're not getting enough leads, so how can I help them? So you provide a service, you understand what their ideal customer is. So their ideal customer is for this instance. So let's just say it's like a mum and dad. So it's your mum and dad with the kids in the middle of Brisbane. So it's mum and dad and kids. So what actually makes them tick? What actually makes them, move forward in life? What actually gets them? So yeah, so you basically work out all that. Let's just say making sure their kid's healthy, making sure they have enough food on the table, just very basic stuff, which all just helps them because they're like, okay, cool, I can feel secure in this sort of way. I can sort of, I'm able to move forward more and more and more because this guy services this much. It can make the quality of our lives change for the next 6 months. I understand I will need to get it serviced again. So it's a bit more like a recurring revenue model. Okay, cool. The only biggest problem is he's having a problem of trying to get a client in front of his face so then he can, actually sell them. Because once people buy from you once, it just becomes on easy mode and then they're able to move things forward like super, super, super easy. So yeah, it's like you more so do what most people find is the difficult bit. That's the part where you get paid, is what I'm saying. You understand their ideal customer, which I'll go more in depth in my program. So that's where I get to help you out. That's where I get to help you with the same systems that made me the money that I've made through marketing and more, and same thing with your clients. But yeah, as I've said, like providing that for an example, I've been doing marketing off and on. I've always been the guy who's been either generating leads, basically assisting in that with the sales, with the marketing, or in some sort of position of where I'm managing sales reps, like I said. Or if you know a bit more about my story, that will tell you a bit more in depth. I've done a lot of stuff in the last 5 years. I've run multiple e-commerce stores. I've run multiple projects. It's kind of wild. But the point what I'm getting at is that you can become in the position where you can get, let's just say your monthly retainer is like $5,000 a month. You can get in a position of, okay, cool, I know I can get this client. Let's just say it's £5,000 a month. Okay, cool. This is what I'm going to do for him. This is what it's worth. And then I can maybe, get on another 3-4 clients because my time's basically, I can just dedicate towards this guy. I can completely scale this guy up. I can get up to where he needs to go, and I can just basically entirely help him out from creating that 20 grand a month profit to about 150k due to the stuff that I know. And essentially you're just selling your resources, your time. It's not like, as I said earlier, it's not like e-commerce. When I tried that, I need to have about 7 grand to start that off. It's not like that. It's more so like, okay, cool, I have a skill. I can then help you guys move it forward and help you guys advance forward more and more and more, because I'm more so the middleman between where you want to go and where you want to be. And because you're going to be dealing with business owners anyway, they're going to have more money. They're going to have, they would rather give you a shot than not to. They would rather, okay, cool, this guy's like, let's just say you're like 18, let's just say really you're about 24 to 30. Okay, cool. This guy feels like he's got a shot. He's learning from someone who's done, this in sales, and he's got access to the system. I know he can pull it off because he's got access to this framework. He's got access to this skill set. And obviously we've got to move him over the line. Like, I've been there struggling for my first client. I've been there and, literally reset it multiple times, but because I've always been able to market, I've never had to worry about that fully, because I started my marketing agency because I had to fully reset back to zero twice now, because I've lost everything twice. And it's like where I'm now at, it's like, okay, cool. Now I have the skill. Now I have this, skill that's able to move me forward and basically make me become a billionaire at 20. Even though, as I said, becoming a billionaire mentally is the exact same thing as becoming a billionaire in general. So it's not really that big of a worry. But yeah, it's pretty much, okay, cool. Now I've access to the skill set. Now I'm able to move forward more and more and more. And because when you run a business, you get full autonomy over your life. Then let's just say if you work a job. But also, one of the most important things you can have is the correct mindset. One of the most important things you can have before starting is the correct mindset. You're not going to move forward in life if you don't have the right mindset. that was the biggest thing stopping me from becoming a billionaire, because I'm like, okay, cool, I'm broke, I got no money. How am I meant to find my way out? What am I meant to do to, naturally try and talk to people so then I can hang around richer people, I can hang around better quality people? Because let's be real, like all the better quality people are like business owners, and then the more and more you get towards that goal, the more and more nuanced your circle is, and the more and more particular you are on the people who involve in your life. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I've cut out I don't even know, probably about 30 people since high school. And considering I cut out a whole entire group, I cut out pretty much most of my people from school, besides a few of the OGs and just a few of the people who've just basically been along the completely unstable, like my life has not been that simple. Like, as I said, I've already restarted twice now and I'm only 21. Like, how many 21s do you know who have restarted 2 or 3 times? Seriously. But it's like the amount of people I've had to cut out, the amount of ruthlessness I've had to show, the amount of sheer determination and sheer just doing, things that I didn't like, which is why I started a marketing agency, so I wouldn't have to work a job again and worry about my debts and everything. But the sheer reason why I decided to do this is because I am just basically determined to get that outcome. I know that's all I care about. All I care about is getting from position A to position B, and I'm also that middleman who can help you do the exact same thing, because that time when you have to roll a 6, that time you have to pull it off. You got no second chances, you got no nothing. You have to pull it off. I've been there, I've done it, I've somehow succeeded. I've been literally sitting there sometimes and being like, how did I pull this off? What did I do? It's just, kind of just been insane to me, more so. It's because it's like time, like I've literally, like I'm saying to you guys, I've had literally times where I've had to roll this, where I've had to roll a 6, otherwise like the rent wasn't paid. It's like crazy. I don't even know how I've ended up doing it. I don't know, probably a bit of math aikido, plus also, okay, cool, if I can then get to this goal, this is how much time, energy, effort and money I need to get to this goal. Because it's like, I've had a few times there where I couldn't pay the rent, I couldn't pay my gym bill, which my only gym bill goes up by 50% if I don't pay it. So my gym bill's normally 21, then it goes up to 32 if I can't pay it. Or rent, okay, cool, I can't pay it for 2 months. Where does that put me in after? If I can't pay $900 a week, what do I need to do to move forward? What do I need to do to more so like solve that problem? I've had times where I was like, okay, cool, I don't even know how I'm going to basically get myself out of the situation. And this is why I tell you the importance of learning marketing and the importance of learning these skills, because as I said, if I wasn't the middleman in creating money, if I wasn't the guy who's like, okay, cool, I can generate you more leads, then you give me a cut, I will make you more money, you give me more money so I can survive, I'm happy with that. But obviously when I was learning the skill, I didn't realize I had the same sort of thing that a lot of you guys have that watch me, because I've been talking to you guys a fair bit, and I know that probably the biggest thing is like, I can't sell high ticket. It's like, yeah, you can sell high ticket. You can basically, do all this stuff out. It's, as I said in a previous video, the game of business is honestly on easy mode, and since most people aren't even willing to try, I'd rather be like stuck in like one of these houses, stuck in like their dead-end job and not get anywhere, because it's too uncomfortable getting, to work for yourself, because you have weeks that go up, you have weeks that go down, whereas they only have weeks that change in like $200 or $400, and it's like, cool, okay. Or let's just say we just stick with a salary, and it's like, okay, so you'd rather to be completely comfortable and not even thinking about moving forward. What position would that put you in? I don't know, but that's just food for thought. And I'm just like, that's why they want to keep you trapped. That's why they want to more so, keep you there, don't really want to tell you the way out. And which is why I'm trying to be like, okay, cool, if a 20-year-old can do it, you can do it too. If a 20-year-old can figure out his way out, make 10 grand a month, 15 grand a month when he was 19. And then he pulled it off again, making over 25 grand a month at the age of 21. This is more than enough reason you can do it too. You people have had more life experience. You people have had way more time within the market. You people understand the volatility of what goes on, what happens, and you people have more life experience. So I can help you move forward and be a 21-year-old in regards to progression and, as I said, like creating your own marketing agency, getting more clients, and just continuing to move forward. Because, as I said, once you understand how to actually do these things, you'll never look at life the same again. And as I said, clearly you guys have more life experience than me. I'm only 20. I'm only 21. But I've only been 21 for, what, about 10 days now. I don't even know why it took me so long. I've only been 21 for 10 days now. So, yeah. Imagine where you guys can be at. Imagine how much further forward you guys can be at. As I said, that's why I'm willing to help you guys. That's why I want you guys to move forward, because I've seen it way too often. Like back in my sales days, when people are like, I want to get out of this job. I'm stuck in a job that only pays me based on my hours, not a job that that has that sort of like exponential curve. So basically goes like that, because I'm only working a sales job. Every one person who I talk to keeps me trapped, keeps me stuck in this one position. And the only way I can get out is by doing more volume. But because I don't run a business, I don't get the multiplied effect of that volume. I'm only stuck in that job. And it's like, for an introduction to business, that's great. That shows you what's going on. But the thing is, you don't get rewarded for understanding that client's needs or wants long term. You don't get the, profit of actually dealing with all the back end stuff. You don't get the, and that's why business is the best game out there. Like, as I said, like honestly, I'd rather you guys basically just give anything a shot. I don't really care whatever it is. As long as you make the right step forward to changing your life, that's the main thing. And like I said, if you want to learn how to become a billionaire at 20, why don't you ask someone who's a billionaire at 20, or like one of my good old favorite saying is, if you want to learn how to be rich, hang around rich people. That's what I've done, and that's how I've made my success. And as I said, I already think I'm a billionaire, so I'm going to become it anyway. So it's not really that big of a deal of me essentially telling you that, because I already believe it's true in my mind anyway. So tell me this. What are you going to do to advance yourself forward in 2026? What are you going to do to advance, yourself forward in 2026? Do you want access to the best multiplier, the best systems out there, from obviously learning someone who's 20, or would you prefer to just sit there, wait another year, and then just be stuck in the same mode that all of us has been there? I can't even fucking speak at the moment. All of us has honestly been stuck there before. Let me know what your decision is, and obviously we can move from there. And even if you guys want, I can also create you a free game plan, so we can come up with an idea, we can come up with a result, so we can understand where you're at, and we can end up moving you forward from where you are today to where you need to be by this time next year, because time ain't going to slow down, and I do not want you guys to be stuck in that same position again. Oh yeah, as I said, it makes more sense to learn from a kid who's basically done it, left school, told school to essentially, like, I want nothing to do with you, and then ended up making it work because I just want to be completely defined and go my own way. So, choice is yours, but I know which one I've been choosing, and I know which one I've been consistently just basically choosing over and over again. As I said, like, I've been hiring coaches for since the age of 18, and I have never regretted an investment before. Even times when I have lost everything due to business decisions, I have not regretted anything, because I have learnt more, I have moved more forward, and I have got to where I am today, which is honestly, like, cameras, yep, but yeah, as I was saying, it's like, honestly, like, pretty awesome in itself, because a lot of people my age don't even realize that till much later on. At least you're awake enough to understand that. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen, I would give, give me a second, I would give this one a watch. I'm just currently being watched by camera. As you can hear in the background, you can hear like the little zzz. But yeah, if I was you guys, give this video a watch over here. The harsh reality of making 25k a month at the age of 20. And yeah, you'll get a bit more of an understanding on me, what I do, and essentially what I want to move forward with, helping you guys moving forward. And yeah, what it's like really making 25k a month at 20.